Well, we're at the top of the hour, so we'll go ahead and get started today. Welcome, everybody, to our second session on dignity and respect. My name is Jeff Reddycop. I am a quality improvement advisor with Mountain Pacific Quality Health, formerly Quality Health Associates of North Dakota, and I work with Dakota Geriatrics on the Age-Friendly Health System project and a couple of other projects as well. So today what we're going to be doing is building on what we learned last month and look at how to use these ideas when care gets more challenging around dignity and respect. Remember, as CNAs, you all have an extremely important role in care and comfort of the residents because you're generally the person on staff who is going to be spending the most time with the individual residents. So just like last time, we're going to be starting out with an icebreaker question to get everybody kind of comfortable and engaged. So today's question is, what is your favorite summertime activity and why? So go ahead and feel free to put your answer in the chat. If you have access to a microphone or laptop computer, you can feel free to come off mute and share your answer as well. I would say for me, my favorite summertime activity is being able to do a lot of bicycling just because I enjoy being outside and in the environment and nature.
Well, I know I love to be at the lake as much as possible.
That's a great activity to be able to be out in water, be on the boat or swimming.
Yep. And there's a couple of other comments in the chat. Natasha says she loves walking in her neighborhood and sitting on her porch.
All right.
And Bethany said she likes to go camping with her family.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yes, it does.
All right, well, thank you for those of you who have shared. So today, what we're going to be doing is putting together what we learned last month about dignity and respect. And we're going to be looking at how to use those ideas in tougher care situations. Like, for example, if you're working with a resident who's got a memory problem, or you have a resident who comes from a different cultural background. We're also going to be talking about easy ways to keep these good habits going every day and how they're going to help you feel less fatigued and hopefully less stressed at work as well. So these goals we see here, these three goals, are going to shape and connect the simple steps from last session and help you be able to use them when care gets tricky. Respect still builds trust and helps residents feel calm and safe. So let's start with a quick check-in on what you tried since our last session, or for those of you who are new, what things you've tried in the past that has worked. The question here is, how have you shown dignity and respect since our last session, or in your everyday interactions with your residents? Please go ahead and share one example. Again, you can go ahead and type that into the chat or come off mute. So what are we seeing in the chat so far?
No polling question answers yet in the chat. We just have Carrie had commented she loves to be outside, and Corey Fensky said relaxing at the lake and enjoying family time.
Good activities.
Mm-hmm.
And Carrie Sorensen, our pharmacist, is monitoring chat today along with Natasha Green. So thank you, ladies, for your efforts today.
You bet.
We'll give everybody about another minute if they choose to chat in and share an answer, and then we'll go ahead and move on.
Natasha said she's tried to apply dignity through her work by making sure she relays patients' voices forward to ensure they are included, especially with decision making.
Absolutely, because the patient's voice is the most important one to be heard. Okay, thanks for sharing that, and we will go ahead and move on. So from last session, the individuals who attended, several of them had mentioned that knocking before entering and giving choices made the residents they work with happier and calmer. And some of those individuals also said slowing down helped even on busy days. So today we're going to be building on those ideas from last time and your ideas that you share with us today to be able to help you handle those tougher moments. Age-friendly care means doing the right things for our residents that are 65 and older every day. The 5 M's are going to help guide daily care choices. And as CNAs, your daily cares are part of what matters, and respecting residents' dignity helps improve their emotional well-being and how satisfied they are with their care. As CNAs, you all are the eyes and the ears, and you have the power to help make care safer and more personal for those individuals that you're working with on a daily basis. So here's another quick question. When we think about the 5 M's, which of the 5 M's that you see on the screen here do you feel show up the most when you're dealing with tougher situations? So go ahead and pause and choose one of those letters for the answer: A, B, C, D, or E. Mobility, mentation, medications, complex needs, or what matters. And go ahead and chat in your answer into the chat. And there are no wrong answers to this question.
Natasha said B, mentation.
Okay. For sure, when we're talking about memory.
Mm-hmm. And then Carrie said E, what matters.
Excellent.
And Sarah said D for complex needs.
For sure, with those individuals who might be having memory issues.
Mm-hmm. And Myra said D as well.
Okay, excellent. So thank you for sharing those answers. And we know that dignity and respect build trust and help residents feel calm and safe. And they're also applying these principles is also going to help your whole team work a lot better together. When residents have memory problems, they might get upset or say no or respond inappropriately to your offers to help them. So showing them respect can help them feel safe and also less fearful. And these small steps that we see here can also make care go a lot more smooth and help those residents feel like they're valued. Every resident comes from a different background, belief, or a way of life. And respect means noticing these differences and asking what feels right to them. And this shows you care about what matters to them and builds stronger trust. And what matters is what really most closely ties into what we're talking about today. Our expert panelist, Mira Doglid from last session, shared a great example of being culturally sensitive during our previous session by talking about how she communicates with residents in their native language if those individuals speak German. So that's a great example. So we're going to take a look at a case study here real quick. A resident with memory problems doesn't want a bath and they get upset. And you as a CNA feel rushed because you've got a list of other residents that you need to be taken care of. So in this particular situation that you see here on the slide, this resident used these 4 respectful steps listed out in the bullets here. And the result of using those respectful steps was that the resident calmed down, the bath went smoother, and the CNA felt a lot less stressed. And she was also able to move on to her next patient or resident in a much more efficient manner. Good habits stick when you practice them together. And when you think about these team huddles, these team talks help everybody be able to stay on the same page and also make the work feel a lot easier over time. Now we're going to hear from our panelists today. We have Tina Vance from Annetta Parkview Health Center in Annetta, and Mira Doglid from Missouri Slope in Bismarck. And they're going to be sharing some stories around these 2 questions that we see here on the screen to kind of give you an idea of what steps they've taken and how the results have come about. So Tina, let's start with you. First question is, what dignity and respect action did you take in a harder situation?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
I'm kind of at a blank.
There you go. I wasn't sure if we lost you or.
No, I'm thinking Is this like as of last time we?
This can be any time. This can actually be any time, just an experience that comes to mind.
Well, there's a festivity going on this weekend in the town where I work, and a resident asked if I could take them, and the husband asked, the husband asked if I could take them, but then the resident asked if I would take them and without the husband. And I said, I think it would be a better choice to go with your husband, and I will see you there and visit with both of you when I see you guys together. Yeah, that was tough.
Wow, talk about being put on the spot.
And right now, I had nothing except that.
Oh my. Well, you handled that really, really tactfully. You handled that better than I would have. So kudos to you. Mira, how about you? What dignity or respect action have you taken in the past when you've had a harder situation?
Hi, can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can, Mira.
Okay, I had that trouble to sign in, so I was wondering if I will be able to join the meeting. So, dignity and respect in tough situation. I just had recently a gentleman sitting by the elevator and with a wonder guard, and whenever somebody comes and goes, the alarm goes, and lots of people is around trying to tell him, you are starting alarm again, you should move. And he is a veteran. And I was just briefly there, and I told them, you guys should not be all with him, and tried to redirect him one at a time, and I walked away. So the CNA finds me a couple minutes later and says, will you please try to approach him and kind of redirect him? And I went back, and here I see Corinne, a veteran cap, and I said, so you service our country, and I thank him for it. And I asked him how many years he was there. And he answered, but somebody came on elevator and that black box light up again. And I use my badge and I turn it off. Then he says, my wife's supposed to come up here, and people is going in and out of that elevator, and light is going on. I just want everyone to be safe. And I said, we will make sure that everyone is safe. One time you serve, you always serve, and you always care, and thank you for it. And then I knew that he was living most of his life in New York City. So it was playoff New York Knicks. And I asked him, does he know that they may be champion this year? And his eyes just lighten up. And he looked at me and he said again, but my wife's supposed to come. I better go back to my room. And I call her, make sure that she's okay. And that whole problem, what was going on for like a while, I solved without ever telling him that he should back up from elevator. And that's my story.
So you were able to connect with him and get an idea of his why he was there, what his thinking was, and you were also able to connect with him with his veteran status and his previous residency in New York. And those were two touchstones that helped you be able to effectively handle that situation so that he wasn't in danger and neither were others. So that is an excellent story. That really is a great story. So question number 2, Mira, I'm going to ask you to start with, and then Tina, I will come back to you. How would you want your grandparents or your family to be treated when care gets tricky?
I would like to treat them with dignity and respect, compassion and empathy. And here is one situation. I had a resident, her name is Millie. She moved in our facility, and her husband was her main caregiver. And now she had memory problems, and whenever we, probably he had some memory problems too, because sometimes the light will be on for just a few minutes and he feels the light was on for a very long time, even we monitor those call lights and everything. So one day I answered light. I know it was 5-6 minutes. I went up to that floor, but he would always talk for her. And I knew he took care of her. And she was not that verbal, but I could communicate with her. But he's always between us. So I compliment him on his compassion and empathy and love for his wife. And I asked him to take a break so I can help her. But he would always say, but I know what she wants and I know how to get there. And I said, will you please let me communicate with her and you take a break for a minute and sit in the recliner. And then he did. And then I make eye contact with her and I ask her to help her with her cares. And I took her to the bathroom. The privacy was on the window and the room was closed. So I left the bathroom open. So I gave him some control over it, that he can see actually what I am doing. I asked her what outfit she would like, and she kind of really didn't care either one top. She couldn't decide. So I went back to him and I asked him, how would you like your lovely wife look today? And he said, she always liked purple and she always looks stunning in purple. So I put that top on. I did everything. She was kind of smiling all the time, says there and there award, and I put her in her wheelchair. It was close to lunch, and then I park her next to him. And I thank him on his patience, and I ask him, is anything else I can do for him or for her? She was just smiling. She looked beautiful. He said, no, I can see he's still upset, and he used to go and complain a lot about cares because it's hard, now after you are that caregiver, have somebody else to take care of her, but I gave him all control about everything, And then I thanked them and I left. Half hour later, I came up on that floor, and I know he used to go from unit director to social worker, and he had lots of issues and they believe or burning out. And I don't know what's happened in between. He came on the hallway, he grabbed my hands and said, I owe you an apology. Thank you for everything you did for her. I never saw her so smiley and so bubbly since she moved here. And I said, you don't need to apologize here. I am also here for you. You are my client also. And everyone should be treated the way we promise everyone when they moved in our facility. And that's my story.
Well, just listening to that has just put a huge smile on my face, because I can hear the empathy and the compassion in your voice. And
Thank you.
your client was given input. He was given the opportunity to have direction and have control and have a say. And he was shown appreciation for those things too. That's just excellent. That is just excellent. Wonderful story. Tina, we'll hop back over to you. How would you want your grandparents or family to be treated when care gets tricky?
Well, if the care gets tricky, I would probably want to offer them food, because our family loves food, and always enter their world if they can't enter ours, and never argue, never say no. Always see what their wants and concerns are first, and then offer them food. That would be my family and grandparents.
Well, I guess that old saying is true, especially with men. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, good story. Good suggestion. All right. So in the interest of time, I think we're just going to do one question today instead of two to kind of give some people the little chance to think about this. So we're going to just do a quick quiz here. Here's our scenario. You're working with a patient or a resident who has different cultural beliefs about care. Do you ignore those beliefs or do you ask gently what those beliefs are? Go ahead and put your answers in the chat.
We have a couple that have commented to ask gently. 4 answers. 5 seems to be the majority. And then also a comment, ignoring cultural beliefs, pretending they're not there is like ignoring the person.
Wow, is that not the truth?
Yes.
Great observation. All right. Well, you know what? I think we are going to try to squeeze that last question in. So here's our second question, second scenario. You're working a busy shift. You've got some residents that are being resistant. What's your best first step? Do you call a teammate to get some help, or do you just try to go it alone?
We have one comment to call for help. Another one to call the team. Depends on their mood. Do they want more people around them? Call a
Ooh, good
teammate.
observation.
Right? Call a teammate. Maybe they can approach differently.
Yeah, good observations.
And then teamwork makes the dream work. I hope I can help my team and they can help me.
You read my mind. I was just going to mention that too, because if one of us asks for help, you can be guaranteed that at some point we will be asked to provide help as well too. All right. Thanks for participating. Great answers. So we are at the end of our session today. Thank you so much for coming. And to wrap up, our key point today is that using dignity and respect in harder situations improves your ability to care for your residents and helps you and your team feel better at work.